Welcome to another crappy cult fiction list video, this time featuring me on a green screen. This is weird, isn't it? I bet you've been watching my other videos thinking, I wonder what that cult fiction guy looks like. Well, this is what he looks like. Underwhelmed? I thought you probably would be. Today I'm going to talk about video games, which is also new. Today is a day for new things. And while we're at it, why not have a new title card as well? Look at that shit! Took me ages that. That 1 star took me about 20 minutes. It's mental. I'm basically an After Effects god. I can even do this.
Bow to me, you imbeciles!
Good that, innit? Rockstar have never made a bad game. Even Super Turbo Table Tennis 2006 was an absolute banger. At least, as far as table tennis games go. Well, I'm pretty certain, at first, the notion of Rockstar making a Warriors video game had some people like... It was actually pretty good. Acting as a prequel to the cult classic movie, the Warriors video game was one of those beat-em-ups that you just couldn't get enough of. With some bomb-ass, stank-ass, badass finishing moves, it made smashing a guy's head off a brick wall extremely satisfying. It also taught me how to spray paint, jump over fences, trash talk local youths, which, considering the fact that I was born and raised on a UK council estate, they were pretty useful skills. Wythenshawe, yeah? Big up the Wythenshawe massive. Levenshulme ain't got shit on us. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah, man.
That's a meme from like 2006. With almost all of the original cast members coming back to reprise their roles, The Warriors was a worthy video game adaptation that made everybody want to come out to play. You get it? Come out to play, yeah! Oh, f*** off. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never actually watched Dune. Like, I tried once, and I probably got about 20 minutes in, but it was just so long. I mean, I remember the fact that it had Sting in it.
I will kill you! I will kill him! I will kill him! I will find him!
And I'm sorry to all you sci-fi nerds out there that are like, but it's an all-time classic essential must-watch. Sure it is, but there's a reason I only do 60-second movie reviews. You've got to give Dune 2 the props it deserves though. Without it, we wouldn't have Command & Conquer, or StarCraft. And without Command & Conquer, we wouldn't have the Hell March. And without StarCraft, Korean kids wouldn't have anything to do with their spare time.
빼줘야 돼요.
지켜놓고 쏘지 못하고 리버!
리버 저거 다 피겠는데요, 컨트롤해주면.
자, 다가서 보는 유동태! 리버
잡았습니다.
Developed by Westwood Studios and released in 1992, it might not have aged that well, but there's no denying that Dune 2 paved the way for some of the greatest real-time strategy games in the realm of mortal man. And for that, I'm gonna give you a little kiss. Thank you. Right, I've had to change my t-shirt, but that's only because the other one, it had that tiny little green block on it, and you have no idea how frustrating it was fixing it. I think I probably had a shave since then as well. It's been a while, so anyway. The Alien franchise is up there with my favourites. I don't think anyone would disagree with me if I said it was one of the most iconic sci-fi films of all time. The original Alien movie came out way back in 1979, so it's not surprising that between now and then there have been loads of Alien video game adaptations. I mean, there was that shitty rip-off of Pac-Man on Atari. There was that mental Aliens arcade game where the first boss looked like an angry microwaved penis. And remember how hyped everyone was for Aliens Colonial Marines and what a steaming pile of glitchy turd that turned out to be. Well, imagine how grateful people were when along came Alien Isolation.
Finally,
The precious is ours.
Playing as Ellen Ripley's daughter, the game sees you thrown into a scenario that's eerily similar to the one that her poor old mum got caught in. Being relentlessly pursued by a xenomorph with only 3 options in your arsenal: running, hiding, and crying like a little bitch. It's genuinely terrifying, and it's the closest we've ever been to actually feeling like we're playing the first Alien movie. And while it's far from perfect, it's definitely a damn sight better than anything Ridley Scott has done since he came back into the Alien picture.
Watch me. I'll do the fingering.
Forget for a second that crappy reboot ever happened, and imagine a world where a third Ghostbusters film exists. A third Ghostbusters film that's actually pretty great. It has all of the original cast members, input from the original writing team, it's funny, it's charming, and to make things even more exciting, it's interactive. Well, I'ma tell you something. That world does exist, yo! It's this world! I remember in 2009 when I heard that a Ghostbusters video game was coming out to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the first film. I rolled my eyes and mentally chucked it into that pile of crappy video game movie adaptations of the past. But when I actually gave it a go, it was really flipping good. Playing as a new member in the Ghostbusters team, this is a true homage to an incredible franchise. Everything from the writing to the tone is spot on. And listening to the voices of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd while I busted the shit out of some ghosts gave me the biggest nerd boner I've ever had since that time I met Andy Serkis at a film screening and he looked like he could have been my dad. Look at that! It's uncanny! The Thing is one of John Carpenter's finest moments. A game-changing sci-fi film, it sets an insane standard for prosthetic effects. Like a few games on this list, the Thing video game came out like 20 years after the movie did, and I remember getting it on PS2 and being like, meh, probably be alright, but after just 10 minutes of playing, I was like... Set after the events of the movie, you play as a US military team that go in to investigate what happened to McCready and co. and end up experiencing everything that they did. This game had so much thought put into it. It had some really unusual and ingenious mechanics that no one had ever seen before. It even had a morale meter for every member of your team, and the more scared they got, the less likely they were to listen to anything you had to say. Eventually, they'd get so scared that they'd commit suicide, leaving you cold and alone like you probably will be when you die in real life.
If you want a job done right, you gotta do it yourself.
That's it. That's my top 5 favourite video games based on cult movies that aren't actually that bad. Don't forget to like this video because that helps me out a lot, and please subscribe because that validates my existence. Before I go, I just want to give a shout out to my boy John for letting me use his studio. Shout out to my boy Chris G for being a stand-up guy 24/7. Shout out to Fui-chan, Eugene, this guy. I don't even know who you are, but I think you're my new best friend. And just shout out to the rest of my subscribers. Thanks. And now, I'm gonna get the escalator out of here.